You know, Target is now looking at an online petition signed by more than 1 million Americans who are really, really ticked off over the company's transgender policy. Let me just cut to the chase. It will allow anyone to use any bathroom they wish in about transgenders, but obviously it ticked off a lot of folks like this pastor, Greg Locke, who went viral reacting on Your World. What do you say to people who have your view, Pastor, who say, well, they're not inclusive, they're not open-minded, they're bigoted against transgenders? You say what?
Well, certainly I've got that a lot. There's been a lot of vitriolic hate mail from the LGBT community, and we're not. We have raised a generation of people that believe that morals and convictions and values equal bigotry and discrimination. And I think that is a great injustice in the day in which we live.
All right, you've heard from the Reverend trying to push this point. Now to the guy who actually pushed it with a big economic impact and led this petition and this group, now 1 million strong. Abraham Hamilton is with us right now. Abraham, did you ever think when you started this that you'd get 1 million people signing on to it?
Thanks for having me, Neil. I can't say we knew that there would be 1 million people who would recognize the lunacy that Target has waded into, but we are grateful. And we are hopeful that there's at least 1 million. Last time I checked, it was about 1,025,000 people who had signed on to the petition to boycott Target at afa.net, because we find it to be alarming that Target, in an effort to make an overture to the transgender community, has simply put at risk the women, the children, and the little girls of our society to make a political statement. We think it's dangerous, not because there's no one at the American Family Association who believes that transgendered people pose a threat as sexual predators. Those two things are not synonymous in our view. However, if anyone believes that predators will not take advantage of this misguided policy to seek new victims, create new victims, and look to Target to be a place to locate those victims, I would say that they're woefully naive. And it's for those reasons we're asking the American people to join us in communicating to Target in what appears to be the only way that they understand it, by not spending your money there, because they won't listen to common sense. They won't listen to anybody who says, listen, if I'm a woman, I don't want biological men in the restroom with me.
Now, what kind of response have you gotten from Target? For now, it seems to be standing by this policy that anyone can use any restroom, any dressing room. So for those 1 million plus folks, yourself included, what do you do?
Yeah, I think we continue to press the issue, because what we're asking for is not for Target to just disregard anybody or any transgender people. We're proposing a reasonable resolution, in our opinion, to just use a third bathroom. Most Targets already are equipped with a third family restroom. Just a third restroom, that's single occupancy, as well as a third dressing room option, because the policy is not only for restrooms, it includes dressing rooms.
Yeah, I saw the dressing room thing too. Now, obviously, that's a huge expense for the company. I'm sure they weighed doing something like that. They didn't. But it sounds to me like this has been turned upside down. If you read many in the mainstream media and the press, guys like you are seen as bigots, that you're insensitive to the LGBT community. What do you say?
And I say they're completely misguided and mistaken in that assessment. We're also concerned about the transgender individuals as well, who may feel uncomfortable in the restroom with a male-dominated or male-designated restroom or a female-designated restroom, where they can enter an individual restroom, lock the stall, lock the door, use it, and leave without that concern. And it's just as the pastor alluded to in the clip that you played, anybody who stands on the values or principles are being labeled as being bigots. And I see this really as personally offensive and an affront to the entire civil rights movement, to where they've conscripted that movement to try to substantiate this lurch to what I would consider radical social engineering.
You know, one of the things I heard from the pastor yesterday, Abraham, I'd like your take on it. He said for the 0.3% of the population for whom this is addressed, 99.7% have to upend their lives. And it bothered him on that level. What did you think of that?
And one thing that we're also trying to alert the public to, this fact that there are more registered sex offenders in the United States than there are members of the transgender community. I mean, let that fact sink in. What are we really doing here? The American Families Association is suggesting that in an effort to pursue this policy, that they're putting our women and our girls at risk. We're asking for them to really take a real hard, thoughtful consideration to what we're proposing and to walk this misguided, heinous policy back.
All right, thank you very much. We'll see where it goes. Let us know if you ever hear back from Target one way or the other. Abraham Hamilton, the American Family Association public policy analyst. He got this ball rolling. More than 1 million signatures.